Welcome to Slinging the Slang, the video podcast where we take a look at our slang, our idioms, our expressions, their origins, their meanings, everything from the funny and controversial to the downright ridiculous. I'm Slangman David Burke, author of over 30 books on idioms and slang.
And I'm Monica Mauro, Director of Education for an English language school in Southern California. And David, I just love to sling slang.
And that is why we are here today, to sling some slang with you, our audience member. If you're new here, welcome. And this is our format. I know what we're going to be talking about, and Monica has no idea. And that is always fun and a little terrifying at the same time. If you have any questions for us, we welcome them. Please email them to david@slangman.com. And we'd be happy to do our best to answer them. So we're going to do a special show because of St. Patrick's Day.
Woo!
And I was actually on national news, perhaps you caught it on Spectrum, talking about Irish slang. And one of the things I should mention, and I think this will be interesting, Monica, especially for our ESL students out there who are learning English, and certainly our English lovers, the Irish accent is one of the most beautiful accents, and there are about 100 of them, over 100.
I agree. I love it.
And so here are two things I learned that are the basics. So the I is pronounced oi, oi. And the D is pronounced like a T, like a soft T. So the word Ireland becomes Ireland. Isn't that pretty? Ireland.
So, David, this reminds me, when I was in Ireland, I was at a pub, believe it or not, and there was a little puppy, a little poodle, and I asked the bartender, I said, what is your poodle's name? And she said, Boobles. And I said, Boobles? And she said, yeah, Boobles, champagne, the Boobles. And I went, oh, Bubbles. And I said, well, I like it. I like the way she said it better.
I love the accent is so beautiful.
It's
and
beautiful.
If you're in a pub, I hope you're reminding your P's and Q's. Remember that one?
Yes.
Which means be careful what you say in our slang, but it comes from the UK, actually from England originally, and then went to Ireland. It means mind your pints and quarts.
Oh, okay. Well, I will do that. As much as I possibly can.
Yes, right. Well, I've got a few things to mention. I love trivia. We always like to start out with something on the news or some trivia. I've got some trivia for you. In what country, Monica, was the Titanic built?
I don't know why I want to say this, but I think it was built in Britain.
Actually, Ireland. It was built in Ireland.
No.
See, I gave you the clue. We're talking about St. Paddy's Day, but by the way,
it just didn't connect.
Okay, this is something I did not know until last week. When you think of St. Paddy's Day, how would you spell Paddy's?
Well, the way I've seen it spelled is Paddy, but it's probably Patty.
You are exactly the opposite. It is Paddy, and oftentimes you're right. We see either Paddy or Patty. It's Paddy, and evidently the Irish don't like it when you spell it with two T's. They want two D's. Is that interesting?
Very extremely. I'm so glad I came today.
I'm glad also, because if not, the screen on your side would be blank, and that would not be good. So, okay, here's two more pieces of trivia for you. I love this one.
Okay, I'm ready. I love trivia.
Mac in front of someone's name and O apostrophe before someone's name. What do they actually mean? So Mac, Donald, for example. What does that really mean?
Does it have something to do with the pattern on their kills?
Actually, Mac means the son of. So MacDonald is the son of Donald, and O apostrophe is the grandson of. So O'Malley is the grandson of Malley.
O'Leary is the grandson of McLeary.
Well, of Leary, actually. O'Leary would be the grandson of Leary.
The grandson of Leary, and McLeary would be the
The
great
son of.
grandson of Leary.
Just the son of.
Oh,
So
the
Mac,
son of.
the Mac is the son of, and O is the grandson of, and you heard it here. So that is my trivia of the day.
I love it. Now, sometimes I spell it MC and sometimes it's MAC. What's the deal with that, David? Or
That is a great question, Monica. And I'll tell you, I don't know. But you know what? I better find out. I honestly, why didn't I think of that? So McDonald's, is that the son of Donald? Like the restaurant?
the son of Donald?
I wonder. Okay, now we will find this out for you and let you all know because I'm not quite sure.
And speaking of McDonald's, I
You're
had
hungry
my
again?
once a year Shamrock
Derek,
Shake
I
last
knew
night.
you were going there. The Shamrock Shake. So what exactly is in a Shamrock Shake?
I drank the entire thing by myself and I offered none to my husband, who
And
was sitting right next to me.
that is the Monica I know and adore. And so what was in a Shamrock Shake exactly? Is it like mint or
And
something?
well, McDonald's uses a yogurt base, so they don't use ice cream. They use actually a yogurt base, and then it's got mint, and then a green food coloring, and then they just mix it all together, and it's got lots of sugar. I could not stop drinking that shake until I heard,
It was you get to the bottom and you just keep on
to the
sucking
bottom.
until there's
and,
nothing
and just
left.
slurped.
There's
Yes.
no bottom left. Well, I have
No
something. Here's something kind of interesting that happened. Speaking of Irish and Irish slang, so on the news, I remember listening, and the newscaster went to a pub in Los Angeles and interviewed two girls from Ireland, and the newscaster said, "So I'm curious, why are two girls from Ireland here in a pub in Los Angeles? Why aren't you in Ireland celebrating St. Patrick's Day?" And they said, "Because don't you know, in Los Angeles, you can always find yourself some great crack." And the newscaster,
yes, LA is known for
absolutely
great
shocked.
crack.
It means great fun in Irish slang. See?
Now, can you see what kind of conversation would be inspired by that when they said there's a great crack,
Oh.
and then this interviewer thinking that they are meaning drugs, and they say they think it means fun, and there's this loss in translation. I would love to have heard that conversation.
It was, well, I loved hearing the interview because I knew that the interviewer was just stunned because there was this long pause. Like, the interviewer was just absolutely shocked because he didn't realize it just means fun. I wanted to call in and say, no, it's okay. But I figured we'll save that for this program, for our own show. So we have a lot of emails from people asking about St. Patrick's Day and Irish slang. We've got an email here from Sheila from Australia, another English-speaking country with a beautiful accent.
Yes.
Australian slang, Monica. They will say to you, instead of don't have a conniption, which means don't get so upset, they'll say, don't throw a wobbly. Don't throw a wobbly. A wobbly is a conniption. Yes, you heard it here.
Wobbery?
No, a wobbly. WABBLY. Wobbly.
A wobbly.
A wobbly. Don't throw a wobbly. So,
well, I like that.
I like that. I don't know what a wobbly is other than a conniption, but it sure does sound funny. And that's all we care about on this show, is that it sounds funny. So Sheila is asking, is St. Patrick a real person?
Yes, he was. And he drove the snakes out of Ireland.
Very good. You know your Irish history. And originally he was named, and I'm going to say this wrong, Maewyn, Maewyn, Maewyn Succat. But his name was changed
thank
when he
goodness.
became sainted to Patricus, or Patricius, that was it. Patricius, when he became a saint.
I'm very glad he changed it because I wouldn't have been able to say that.
And I still can't say it. I'm stumbling over my words here. Good question, Sheila. But yes, St. Patrick was actually a real live person. Thank you for that question, Bob from Truckee. Oh, Truckee. Oh, that's
Turkey.
by Lake Tahoe. A beautiful area, probably under snow right now.
Yes, lots of
But
good skiing.
oh yeah, I mean, most of California is under snow, except for I can't even say except for LA because we do have snow in the mountains behind LA, which is still part of LA. So we have snow everywhere.
But
Uh,
we have Big Bear too. We have the San
oh
Bernardino
yeah,
Mountains, which are loaded with snow right now.
loaded with snow. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's very strange in Los Angeles. I remember one year on the same day, you could either go to the beach in 80-degree weather or go to the mountains and go skiing
Yep.
the same day in LA.
That's what's
So,
great about California. Very diverse.
yes, as they say, we love you, California, even with all your faults, because we do have earthquakes.
Ha ha!
A little bit
Good
of
one, David.
California humor there. Okay, so Bob, sorry, you wanted to know what exactly? What is a shamrock exactly? What is a shamrock?
Oh, it's a three-leaf clover.
All right, you mentioned Shamrock Shake. Yes, it's a three-leaf clover that represents what, Monica?
Oh, I'll tell you what it represents.
Oh, yeah? Go ahead.
It represents being Catholic. It
Okay,
represents the Holy Trinity.
you got it exactly.
So
And,
there. And it's good luck if you find a four-leaf clover.
exactly, a four-leaf clover.
Yep.
That's right. I think that's what they have on Lucky Charms is a four-leaf clover, I think. Oh, something else we'll have to look up. Lucky Charms and Mook, MC.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you for that question, Bob. Greg from New Zealand. Oh, we're
New Zealand.
speaking countries there. I don't know any New Zealand slang. I'm going to have to look that up. Greg, if you have any New Zealand slang you want to throw at us,
Yeah, let's hear some New Zealand slang.
we'll sling some New Zealand slang. Why is green, associated with St. Patrick's Day? Well, why do
Why
you
is
think?
green? Well, it's called the Emerald Island. I
Exactly.
went to Ireland in February, in the month of February, and it was green as could be. I mean, just green everywhere.
Yeah,
Everywhere you
always.
looked, that's the color you saw. I mean, it's amazing. It's beautiful. These rolling green hills, just like you would imagine it to be. So I imagine that they associate with green because the entire island is probably green year round, right? I mean, they
Eh,
don't have a dry spell, do they?
No, I don't think they do.
I
But
don't think they do.
I read somewhere that the original color associated with St. Patrick's Day, I, I read it somewhere, blue. And I don't remember
Blue.
where I read it. Yeah. And then it changed to green because it seemed more logical. Again, something else we have to look up. We know our slang, folks.
Yeah, we know our slang.
The origins, of trivia, not so sure about, but we'll get back to you on that. So there's your answer for Greg from New Zealand. Steve, Steve from Ireland, from Ireland. Okay, Steve. Okay, the real deal here. What do you think the Irish actually eat on St. Patrick's Day? Okay, so what do they eat on St. Patrick's Day?
You know,
What do we eat here to celebrate it?
well, I like to eat corned beef,
Yep,
but
corned beef
I'm
and
not
cabbage.
Irish, I mean, I would venture to guess that I just want to say they don't eat corned beef. That's probably maybe some urban legend, and then Americans just said, hey, we like corned beef, so we're going to say they eat corned beef, and that's what we're eating. And I want to say they have a pint and
A pint, a
maybe
drink.
I don't know, some mashed potatoes or lamb, maybe lamb.
Well, it's interesting. I think it's all of the above because they eat something called, and didn't you make this once? Coal cannon?
Oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah, coal cannon. That is the traditional Irish dish made from mashed potatoes and
Yeah.
cabbage
Yeah.
or kale.
Yeah. I saw it on the Food Network.
You did? Do you
Yes.
remember what it looked like?
What's that?
Do you remember what it looked like?
It looked like a big ball of green mashed potatoes.
Oh, so the green of the kale changes the color of the
Yeah,
mashed
just like a
potatoes.
blob
Okay,
of green stuff.
okay, well, we're back to green again. So the Emerald Isle, so that makes sense. Yeah, I have to look that up also. I wanted to see what Colcannon looks like. 'Cause I don't know. I
Well, I want to taste it
need
because
to,
I
well,
love kale and I love mashed potatoes. I'm not a huge cabbage fan, but I can stomach
oh,
it.
I grew up on stuffed cabbage. We had
Oh,
that all.
no, no, no. I like stuffed cabbage.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like the
right.
stuff inside.
Oh, yeah. That's what I did as a kid. You'd peel the cabbage and have the stuff inside. I do the same
Exactly.
thing with bell peppers.
Me
You
too.
know,
I was just going to say that.
and it wasn't until the red ones and the green, no, the red, uh, yellow, and orange ones came out on the market that I actually liked the whole thing. The green ones, not so much. See, we
I would
always
just eat
talk
the
about
stuffing.
food. If
Yes,
you're
food,
new to
yummy.
us, get used to it. Monica and I always turn the wheel over to food. We have Mona from Lebanon. We were taught
Ah,
that Blarney means nonsense in Irish slang. Why? Why does
wait a minute.
Blarney mean nonsense?
Say that again because I was thinking of Lebanese food and I totally got sidetracked. My favorite food is Lebanese food.
I'm so proud of you. You're my food buddy. We were taught that Blarney means
Oh,
nonsense,
Blarney, right. And
but
yeah, the
why?
Blarney Stone.
The Blarney Stone. Okay, go on. You're on the right track.
I want to say it's ridiculousness. Stop the Blarney. Am I on the right track?
You are on the right track. I wrote this down. Oh, so here is what is supposed to happen. There's a castle, the Blarney Castle, located in Blarney, Ireland. And if you kiss the stone of the Blarney Castle, any stone, it gives you what we say in slang is the gift of gab. It makes you talkative, but maybe a little too talkative, and you start to talk nonsense. So that's Blarney. You kiss the Blarney Stone, and
David,
suddenly
we
you're
must
talking.
have kissed the Blarney Stone at some point in our life.
We were probably born onto it. That was the
Yes, yes,
slab onto which.
yes, we were born on the Blarney Stone. We were
But we're not.
conceived on the Blarney Stone.
Although this is not Blarney, we're not.
The
We're not
Blarney Stone.
the Blarney. Yeah,
I added an extra vowel there, an extra
Blarney.
syllable, an extra syllable.
Yes, the Blarney Stone. Yes, but this is no Blarney coming from Nan from Virginia, who wants to know. Oh, this is good.
Oh, okay.
Do the Irish really say? Do they really say "top of the morning" to you?
Well, when I was in Ireland, I never heard anyone greet me like that ever.
So, what would you say if someone walked up to you in Ireland and said "top of the morning" to you? How would you respond?
I would say, "You're full of Blarney."
Yes, or "you're American," because Americans say it.
Why,
Very
David?
good.
Why?
It came from some movie called The Quiet Man. It popularized it because back in the day, they did say "top of the morning" to you. Then it went away. It's kind of like us using the word spifflicated, which meant drunk in the 1920s. If someone said, "What are you, spifflicated?" we look at them and say, "What?" So
What?
it went away. No one says "top of the morning" to you anymore. No one. So yeah, you're right. It's Blarney.
It's Blarney.
That's a good question. We have one more. Polly from Vancouver. Why do we pinch people on St. Patrick's Day for not wearing green?
Oh, to just have some fun.
Yes, to remind them you have to wear green on St. Patrick's Day. And who is actually said to be pinching you?
I want to say someone that likes you.
No, the wee leprechaun.
Oh, a little leprechaun. I forgot about the leprechauns.
How can you forget about the leprechauns on St. Patty's Day? Yes, it's the leprechauns that are said to be pinching you to remind you it's St. Patrick's Day. And Monica, I know that you love this, and it's super appropriate right now to read this blessing as a way to end our episode.
Oh, the Irish blessing. Oh, David.
And I've got the whole thing here.
Oh, David, I love that blessing so much.
I know.
I'm going to start crying right now.
It is the most beautiful blessing ever. And You're going to hear it right now. This is how we hope you spend the rest of your week and the rest of your life, actually. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. And may the sun shine warm upon your face. And the rain fall soft upon the fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Isn't that pretty?
It's beautiful. Thank you so much for reading that.
It's just the most uplifting. And, obviously, we watch the news, and the news is always sometimes not so wonderful. So a wonderful blessing like that is just, it goes a long way. And
the Irish have such a way with words, don't they?
Oh, it is the most beautiful, beautiful words, blessing I've ever heard. And we do want to thank you, Monica and me, for spending your time with us. And we do hope that you do have the road rise up to meet you. If you'd like to speak more slang, like Monica and I do, please visit slangman.com and check out my books on slang and idioms.
We look forward to slinging more slang with you and chilling with you in the future.
We'll be back next Sunday and every Sunday. And as Monica
next Sunday we'll be back. I'm still thinking about the Irish prayer.
I know, so gorgeous.
Irish blessing.
We have an interesting episode next week, by the way. It's going to be controversial. You are not going to want to miss it. So do tune in next Sunday. And in the meantime, as Monica said, we look forward to, let's say it together, Monica, slinging the slang with you next week. Until then, thanks for joining us.
Toodles! Okay.